Welcome to Scundered with me, Teresa Livingstone. I'm a silly lady and I embarrass myself on the regular. So this podcast is about finding other people who make me feel better about myself and insisting that they tell me their embarrassing stories. So my guest this week is an actress, an improviser, a comedian. She's a good wine drinker. You may have seen her in things such as Give My Head Peace, Dry Your Eyes, The Fall. Maybe ask her a wee bit about that in a minute. And I often see her sitting across from me with a glass of wine in her hand. Please welcome Emma Little Lawless.
Hello.
Yay.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. We were just talking about your name, Emma Little Lawless. So your official your actor name is Emma Little Lawless.
Yes, that's my official acting name. It started as just Emma Little. Because that's how I was born.
That's how it usually starts.
It was really original. And it wasn't taken by equity, so I was just Emma Little. And then I got married to a lovely man called Kevin and became Emma Lawless, but was still Emma Little for acting. But then a certain politician came along called Emma Little Pengelly, and I thought, I'm getting mixed up too much here. And so it became Emma Little Lawless.
We're getting booked for each other's gigs.
We are.
Yes.
And I knew we are. And I was no good at a DUP conference.
And you're like, I'm not being the Deputy First Minister, okay?
Sorry, but no. It's a no.
But only when you said that I realised, so she was Emma Little when she was
like
a politician?
Queen's. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think she was maybe, I think she was maybe something in law. This is where I get her career terribly wrong, and we'll get letters from
that's what this podcast is about. Emma Little, the politician.
No, so when we're roughly the same age.
Okay.
And so when I was just coming out of drama school, she was like head of the Queen's Student Union.
Yes.
So when, not that I would ever Google myself.
Not at all.
Never. But when Google used to, was becoming a thing
when it was
back
first
in the day.
How old are we? When Google was invented.
I would type in Emma Little and I would come up, but also this other Emma Little, Student Union, and she sounded very studious, and I was like, who is this? Who is this? And she's from Belfast with long brown hair, and who is this? And so, yes, so then...
So you're like, that's it, I'm getting married.
That's it, I'm getting married. Who are you?
Gotta do something about this.
That is great alliteration. I will take that. And it's quite funny, because Emma Little Lawless is just quite a funny name, and it amused me. But Emma Little Pengelly knows me too, because we met at a restaurant and she came over and she was like, oh, you're the other Emma Little. I used to always get mixed up for you when I was doing like a sketch show called Dry Your Eyes, which was probably not what she wanted to be confused for. So yeah, we've been confusing. Well, not anymore. I feel she's won.
She's one. She's a little higher profile.
She's a wee bit higher
but
profile.
Not as funny. Not as funny,
but
Emma.
she likes dogs as well, because she does a lot of outreach with like dog charities and stuff. So I feel
Emma,
like parallel.
I do feel you know a little bit too much.
I do. If you want to join my fan club.
That's actually why you're here today.
It is. Surprise.
But you have done this. We're going to be chatting about embarrassing stories. And you mentioned drama school there. So not just any drama school. You went to the prestigious LAMDA. Isn't it LAMDA?
LAMDA, that is it. Not Lada, the car that used to get teased.
Oh yes, remember?
I remember Lada's that old joke. But no,
we need to skew a bit younger here.
But no, LAMDA, so the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts. So yes, I went there for 3 years,
and that's not easy to get into.
No, it wasn't. It was had to do I think 2 auditions, and I do actually remember my first audition. I went in and I feel something went wrong, because I went into the chat with the girl, like the admin girl afterwards, and just went in and was like, oh, it was awful. Oh, everything's awful. And turned out she had a connection with Belfast. And so she really calmed me down, and we just got chatting. And I think she put in a good word for me to get the second edition.
Oh, listen.
But then I nailed the second edition.
Yes,
so it was
you were
okay.
Good. Are you typically, do you do well in auditions? Is that not embarrassing?
Sometimes I do well. Sometimes I think I do well, and I have not done well. And I suppose more recently, everything's gone to self-tapes.
Oh, right.
So they are hard, because you're really relying on who you're taping opposite, which...
So you have to have somebody reading for you on the other side of the camera?
Yes.
That's not as embarrassing. I thought you would be by yourself, just sort of having to react to nothing.
Do you know that would be easier?
Oh, would it?
Yeah, because sometimes the people in the room are either giving you far too much advice or, like, I love them very much and thank you for doing it, but, you know...
Clearly your husband we're talking about.
And they might give... Well, no, he has now turned his back on me in an audition and he reads his line facing the wall.
Oh, I'm sure that's reassuring.
really supportive, but that's mainly because we can't stop laughing.
Okay.
So we'll just start laughing and then I can't get through it. Then I start to get annoyed because, you know, the deadline's probably in 2 hours' time because I've obviously left it to the last minute. And then the dog will start barking and then we just are absolutely in hysterics. So then it's like, stop it, turn around. And then we do. So, yeah, it's probably not the best. It's not the best.
But that's not too embarrassing.
No, it's not embarrassing because it's just the two of you.
I thought.
No, it's not too bad. The in-person ones... They tend to go okay because you can get away with a lot of, you can be a bit silly and you can get away with things.
Okay.
It's more than when you get the job and then you realise you've probably overpromised a lot.
Yes, where you're sort of like, yes, I can do horseback riding and sword
Yeah.
fighting. Yes, can do it all.
And then you're like, oh, hold on a minute, I've actually got to do it now.
Well, I obviously haven't gone through a lot of auditions because I am not an actress. But one of my most embarrassing memories of an audition is when I was at school for the first school play that our school ever did, a big musical.
Lovely.
And I was only 12. I'd never done drama. I'd never done anything like that. And I just didn't know what I was doing. I thought it would just be my natural, lovely self. And I got down to the last two for the lead, right?
Right.
And the musical was The Boyfriend.
Oh, here.
Do you know what?
I haven't
crap.
seen it in a while now. It's
awful.
gone out of fashion a wee bit.
Yeah. So if you don't know what this is, The Boyfriend was set in a girls' finishing school in the south of France. Right? We could all relate to it. So I was up for the lead and I got down to the last two, right? And we had to audition in front of each other and the drama teacher said to me, Teresa, you go first. So I was just reading out the script and I was all, come on guys, let's go to the beach. And she went, no, you need to do it a bit more horsey. And I went, not a problem.
Oh God.
Come on guys, let's go to the beach.
Oh God. Which I love. I wish I could have seen that.
And the other girl was just like she was trying hard not to laugh, and the teacher was like, no, I don't mean like a horse, I mean
not literally.
Horsey as in posh. And I went, I'll just withdraw from the process now, thank you.
So you didn't get it?
I did not get, no, I was put like dancer number 3.
I hear you.
As a horse. they wrote a horse into the play for me.
Here she goes.
It was the fact it was in front of other people. I was like, not a problem. So that's how well I do on auditions.
You do have to really respond to the moment. Like my first ever audition was for A Christmas Carol at the Lyric when I was probably about, I don't know, 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And you know when Scrooge at the end goes, what day is it, child? Or whatever it is. It's Christmas Day. So I managed to mess that up. I was so overwhelmed. I went, and my script was upside down. I was like, what day? Is
what,
the
were you
one line?
Scrooge?
No, I was the kid that was meant to say it's Christmas Day. What day is it?
It's Tuesday.
So yeah, the child star never took off after
Emma.
that. Next.
You're like, line. Christmas
What
Day.
day is it? No, but what day is it really? Let's analyse that. Yes. Let's analyse
I'm coming at this just slightly differently. My interpretation. Oh my God.
But yeah, so that was sad.
But you have been in some pretty high profile things. Do
Yeah.
you prefer, I mentioned you were in The Fall.
Yes.
So who were you in The Fall? Just remind me.
What do you mean? Do you not know?
I've seen it millions of times.
Yeah.
Were you a nurse?
I was a nurse.
You were a nurse?
Yes, I've been a nurse a few times. I've been a nurse 4 times.
Oh.
In 4 different eras.
Right.
Yes. Being a
is
nurse.
that, do you think?
Look at this lovely. Well, it was funny. In The Fall, they actually sent us to, we had to go and shadow in, the royal...
Oh, really?
People in intensive care. They sent us in a full
my God.
day. Yeah, so,
Imagine
I
that
went
if you
and I
were
got
just-
training.
Jesus. If you're going to visit your relative, there's some freaking drama student.
What is it? What do I do? Just press that? Okay.
What is my motivation for saving your life?
What is it? So, yeah, we had, full-on training. It was me and, Aisling B. She was the other
No
nurse.
way.
So we were paired together. And so I was Nurse Gregory. I had a name badge and everything.
Sexy.
Yeah. And I basically was looking after... So his victim, who he'd like put in
Right.
the hospital, she was in a coma, and I was there looking after her. Now she did come round because we talked to each other as it went on.
Okay.
But yes, I was sort of looking after her, and then Jamie Dornan's character like seized, and I was cold. I had to run over, and
Oh, were you in the room with Jamie Dornan?
Oh yeah, he injured.
Let's hear about that.
Yeah,
yes.
he injured my boob.
Okay. On or off screen?
On. You can see it happening if you watch very closely.
Oh, I'm going to go back
Yeah.
now. What, like a punch? Like a punch bag?
Season 2, episode 2. Oh, no, season 3. I'm giving the wrong season.
Okay.
Season 3, episode 2.
Boobgate.
Boobgate, yeah. So he was in a coma.
Right.
He's just lying there. Mm-hmm. And now he has talked on programmes about his mighty calves before.
Right.
Now, I didn't realise how mighty these calves were.
Okay.
So I'm running in, and you had to like run in and slam yourself down. And run in and slam myself. Now, this is all I have to do, but it's repetitive over and over and over again.
On to him.
Onto him, like onto his
Big calves.
big calf.
Right.
So I'm just like, boom.
Okay.
And then we're having our lunch, and I'm sitting there going, oh, Jesus. What have I done to myself? Like, how?
Oh my God.
What have I done? And yeah, big bruise from Jamie's calves. I was too into it. I was flinging myself down too
Method
hard.
actor.
Oh,
Doing it when you
don't
went.
see he's there. But
Jamie
yeah.
Dornan's like the cold cut 5 minutes ago. Stop.
I know. I'm sure
Get
the
her
man
off
could get
my
her
legs.
away. I know, but no, so that was good.
I can't stop thinking about the relatives of those people in intensive care who were looking for comfort in their darkest hour. And there's 2 actors standing there going, how you feeling?
Yeah.
Can I take some notes, please?
I know, and they talked you through. We had like a consultant for.
Wow.
We did it. So I was one day. I think because she was a full on. She was his nurse, so she was in it more. I think she did like a whole week with them. Like she was there ages.
Wow.
I just did a day because I was like, baby nurse in the corner.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, you got taught through and taught you through the equipment, and he taught you through all the terms and everything.
Imagine they got you mixed up, like with an actual nurse. There's
what
like
I
a like,
mean.
nurse, quick, and then you're like, you know, like the
all
guy.
of a sudden you're doing
I think
CPR.
he's
Just
like,
like,
what appears to be the problem?
And she's a hoot. Like she does not stop. She's never off. But when I appeared at set, we had all these like nurses and doctors who were hired to be consultants on the set
Right.
to make sure everything was correct.
Wow.
But I showed up, and then I started saying my line, and a nurse went, "Oh my God, are you not are you an actress? Are you not a real nurse?" And I was like, "No."
'Cause
she's been taking blood all morning.
Do you know like
mighty
the
few.
guy that showed up for like the interview with the PBC and he ended up
Yes,
on the news?
the taxi driver, yes.
Exactly. That
Yes.
could have been me. No, that nurse thought I was actually a
Emma,
real nurse.
see next time I go for a smear test, I'm going to stare
Yep.
straight at the lady doing it and just be like, have I seen you in something before? Can I see some ID, please?
Exactly.
I'll be like, Emma?
Me? I know. But yes, I keep being cast as nurses. So, and I did a World War II, I think it was, or
Nurse
one.
through the age. Oh, you could do a one-woman show about this.
Yeah, I did. I was in a field centre.
Right.
And that was, yeah.
Send you to Iraq just to get up to
No.
speed.
I think we're in the fields of Germany. That was the Viper Times. And then I was a nurse in My Left Nut. Yep, where I had to shave a young boy's balls.
And then they said, action.
Was I not meant to, sweetie? No. Not
Did you
meant
start
to.
throwing yourself in his legs? No? Were they just like,
I
stop it,
didn't,
she's
no.
got form. She does this on set a lot.
No, I
Yes, I
refrained
forgot you were in
myself,
that as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I've done loads.
Yeah, I did that, and I was a nurse another time, but I've forgotten when it is. It'll come back to me.
It's just real life.
Yeah.
But so those are all sort of serious
Yes.
roles. Mm-hmm. But I know you to be a very, very good comedic actress.
Yes, I do. I do enjoy that.
Do you prefer
And
that?
I like both. I do like both, but I find it more easy to be myself when I'm not myself. Do you know what I mean? I can be outrageous and over the top and fabulous. So I've been doing a lot with CBBC recently.
Oh, right, brilliant.
Which I love because you can be as zany and as silly as you want.
Yeah.
So at the minute on iPlayer is Pickle Storm, which
Yeah.
is about a kid and her family have come from space to Earth and they're trying to get on and they go to school and I'm like the the person adjudicating the Headmaster of the Year award, so I'm there just
right,
looking
okay.
stern throughout it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And you can really go over the top of
I love it, yeah. And when I saw the costume, because I was worried, because the first thing was they were like, would you do this audition for stern-looking woman in her 50s? And I was like,
how dare you? Sorry, is there a nurse in this production? I think you'll find.
this is not my genre.
Why is there no nurse in this script?
Yes.
I'm kind of thinking about why is there no horses?
Yes,
Exactly.
and that's a
Nurse
that's a
on
part
a
for me.
horse?
Horse.
A nurse on a horse?
Well, I could be the horse.
There's our next show. So yeah,
I panic and go to horse quite a lot. Like whenever, just
Okay.
like, I was on holiday once with my sister and my two cousins, and we went to Tunisia.
Lovely.
And I still don't know why. We went into the travel agent. We were like, we're 4 girls in our 20s. It was a wee while ago. 4 girls in our 20s. We're looking for a fun holiday. And I really think the sales team had been in that morning going, nobody is buying Tunisia, push Tunisia. So this girl was like, Tunisia. Never mind Tenerife, you want Tunisia.
Yeah.
And she sent us off, and like there was nobody under the age of 65 in this hotel, and we were the only young people. So the entertainment staff were never away from us. They were over going, we're doing a quiz tonight, would you help us get her? So we were basically at work for a week, sort of like entertaining everybody. And at one point they said, we're going to have a fashion show, but we need some models, right? So my sister, who has got a much nicer figure than me, she was like, not a problem. Yes, straight away. So I was like, there you go, there's your model. And they were like, no, we need more. We need all of you. So I was like, oh my God, it's like 40 degrees heat. And I was like, they're going to ask us to like put on swimsuits or something. But it was all their fine leather goods, right?
Oh, right.
They had this leather shop
Okay.
of leather trousers and leather jackets. And they put us all in leather trousers and leather jackets. And I panicked, but number one, with the heat. And number two, having to be sort of graceful on stage. And I came out on stage and galloped like a horse. And just made horse sounds and ran around a circle when my sister came out and like took her jacket off properly.
Oh, she did the whole thing?
She did the whole proper
Yeah.
thing, and I just went,
Did it get a laugh?
no.
No.
People were just concerned. I think there was someone like, she's got a wee bit of heat stroke. I think so.
The leather stuck to her. She can't
She
breathe.
goes to horse when she panics. I
That's
don't know
all
why.
right.
But no, so comedy. So you and I have done a lot of really fun improvising together. We were in I don't know why I'm telling you this, Emma. Do you know we were in a group together?
I have a vague recollection, yes.
Emma, don't
yes.
forget me.
I won't.
We were in Wonder Frog,
I
and
loved
we
it.
did lots of comedy improv. I was saying to Luke and Sean before you came in here that that's how I met my husband. Mm-hmm.
We were there.
Yeah, they were there right at the start, telling him he was an idiot for saying no when I
Yes.
asked him out. Just
Told
get
him to
that in on
wise
the
up.
podcast. Anyway, it all worked out for the best. But yeah, so comedy stuff. Because you do have a real.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody is good at being funny.
Yeah, no, I
but you are
really
very
enjoy
good at
it. It is my happy place, and I love doing improv, and I miss it. Like when I sort of joined Wonder Frog, it was just to keep up that regular being silly.
Keeping it, yeah.
just saying yes and being silly. I love being silly and finding the funny, which is why sometimes I struggle if I have to do a regular job, because I always go for the funny.
Right.
And like in meetings, that doesn't go down too well. When I'm like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah," and they're like, no. And I'm like, meh.
Schindler's List is not right for you, man.
Exactly. So I do enjoy finding the funny.
Yeah. I do that as well when, like, not that I audition for anything, but I did The Voice of Ireland,
Oh yes, yes.
which luckily never made it to air. But when things went wrong, I just started to mug about and sort of just try to be funny, and that doesn't really play
No,
on
it doesn't. I tend to do that
televised
too.
singing program.
Yeah.
What's wrong with her?
Yeah, I tend to do that. Now, I went the opposite way. I auditioned for the Nancy show. Do you remember the I'd Do Anything?
Yes.
I auditioned for that back in the day and got to London, got to the second round and got
Right.
to London. But I decided that I didn't, right. I think what had happened was I had bereavement in the family, and I didn't want to be that storyline of, Emma's here and she has been recently bereaved, and
Because
just
that's
didn't
what
wanna
it's
be
like.
that
Because it's
person.
not just about auditioning. Those programs
Yeah.
are TV programs, so there has to be more to it than just how good are you?
I became the most bland person in
Yes.
the world.
Yes.
I did my song, and that was fine. I did one, and then they said, sing your next song. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I fully thought about this, but okay, sang my next song. And then Denise, I think it was Denise, found out and just went, we don't have time to work on that. That's like a completely different voice. And I was like, rude, okay. But then I had to go out and talk to Graham Norton.
Oh my God.
So you go out and you see someone going, it was a no. And he does his, sad face, here she comes. And because I wanted to give nothing away, I was like, oh, well, win some, you lose some. And moved on. Didn't make it there.
I had exactly the same experience. So with The Voice of Ireland, which is not as high profile, I'll give you that, as Graham Norton. I can't even remember who was hosting
Well, it
it.
must have been someone good.
It was, well, you see, it was RTE, and I never even watched RTE, so I was not starstruck by anybody, because I was just like, hey, are you people? I don't know. But it was a bad sign that I got down to do the actual filmed audition, you know, where they have the 4 chairs and they turn around.
Oh, yeah, exciting.
Got as far as that, and when I got down on the day, they said, you're on first, which is never a good sign, because that's basically, if they're going to stick me on first, that's how they check the lights and the sound.
Oh, don't.
They're not going to
get that.
they're not going to get their first person through, like, oh, we found the winner. So I was like, okay, I'm on first, that's fine. And I'd never really done, I'm not a stage, you know, like theatre person or anything like that. So they brought the 4 judges out who were Cian Egan from Westlife, Jamelia, remember Jamelia?
I do, aye.
Sharon Core, not the main core, the other core.
But not Jim.
She wasn't the core member.
She wasn't the core member of the course. But not Jim. Imagine that. Jim giving me feedback. All right, Jim. Never seen your face before. So, Cian Egan, Jamila, who was the other one? Niall Breslin, who was
don't know who that is.
He was only really famous down south. I'm sure he's done extremely well.
I'm sure he has.
He's very good looking and very charismatic, right? Okay. So those were the 4. And to film the TV programme, they would bring the 4 of them in and do a big thing with the audience, like, here come the judges. They'd all sit in their chairs facing the stage, and then they'd get a shot of the chairs all turning around ready for the first person to come out. So as this was happening, they brought the 4 of them in. They were all like one at a time, big round of applause. They all sat down, still facing the stage. And the stage manager backstage with me went, yep, on you go. And he was talking to somebody else on his walkie-talkie, and I thought he meant me, and I walked out on stage. The 4 judges were like facing me, right? So I walked out.
Well, so they saw you.
They saw me. They hadn't turned it. The whole
show.
point of the show was that it was a blind audition.
Yeah.
So the 4 of them were sitting there, and I walked out and went like this, hiya, and then started to go back, like did a big old Charlie Chaplin, walking backwards, putting my shoulders up and down.
Oh no!
And then a stage manager had to come out and say, "Can we all pretend that didn't happen?" And they turned them around, and then they said, right, out you go again. But I was like, oh my God. So anyway, went out and sang my crap song. Nobody turned around. And I tell you, the pain of that still sits with me.
No, that's awful.
Singing to the back of 4 chairs. I was just like, I just want this to be over.
God.
And the same as you, because I was like, the people who get shown on TV are the ones who crack up, or they just can't cope with not being chosen. So I was like, I'm going to be so calm and so boring. Yeah. This will never make it to TV. So they turned around and they had to give me feedback for what felt like half an hour, because they're just saying everything they can think of to try and get good sound bites. There's good clips. But it's brutal. So for 30 minutes, Cian Egan was like, I just don't think you believe in yourself. And I was like, you listen to me, Cian Egan. At least I know more than to stand up off a stool on a key change. Yes. So I was being really polite and thank you for your feedback. Oh, I'll take that on board. And what I hadn't accounted for was my entire family were backstage being filmed watching this, and they lost their goddamn minds. They were like, what? They were screaming at the and the cameras were like, this is great, right? So I was being really, really boring. I was really like, thank you for your feedback. Goodbye. And when I came off stage, same thing. They were like, we just need to get your reaction. If you just come into this room. And I walked into this room and my dad's head was in the lap of the presenter. He was sobbing. Like really, really sort of like, my daughter. My sister was behind a pole. She was so mortified.
Oh, no.
She was just like, I don't want this to be on TV. So she was like hiding behind.
Disowning herself
It
from the whole
was
thing.
horrific. And I was like, this is my fault. I spent all day training myself to not react, and I completely forgot about them. So they were all like, what do you mean? What? Like pushing cameramen out. And what's worse is, I wasn't like their little... I was like 33.
Oh, God.
What was I doing there with my grown-up parents? 33. I had just had a career as a teacher. I didn't need my mummy and daddy, but they were all like, my little princess. She can't sing. I spent it didn't air for like 6 months, and I was like, please don't let that have made it to TV, and it didn't.
Okay,
thank God. Although I would love to see it now.
I know you sort of want to see it, but you don't want it to. You just don't want to be that clickbait. And
from the minute we arrived in, because it's in this building called the Helix down in Dublin.
Oh, yeah.
So it's when you walk in on the ground floor, it's like an atrium all the way up to so all the floors are open. Do you know what I mean? So if you looked over the banister on the top floor, you could see right down. So it was really echoey. And when we first arrived, my poor dad, he wasn't watching where he was going. So we walked in and I was like, can we all just play it low key, please? Like, this is embarrassing enough. Just keep yourselves to yourselves. And we walked in and he tripped over a chair at the front door.
Gosh.
And ended up on his back, and my mum went, "Oh my God!" And this big scream went up. He had to get people over to help him get up, and everybody was like, "We're with Teresa Livingstone." We're with Teresa. And they're like, "Who?" And the worst part of it all, when that was all over, one of the directors came over and he went, "We forgot to get clips of you before you went into your audition. So could you come backstage and just look like you're about to do?" And I was like, but I already know this isn't going.
Exactly.
So I had to then go backstage and be all like, maybe this is it. Maybe it's me. It was horrific.
Oh, God.
Horrific. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Those shows, they were so stressful.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do one now.
I didn't take it to heart as in like, I did at the time, to be honest with you. I was like, it's 33 years old.
That was it. You were in the...
You have to realise it's not actually about whether you can sing or not. It is a TV programme. They're cast on a TV programme.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any big story. You know, I hadn't overcome anything. I was just this...
that you were willing to share.
Well, yes. Plus, maybe they could have made a story about this grown woman has brought her entire
or your dad could have
family.
auditioned. He might have got on.
God, he would have loved it. A real story. But yeah. But what about ads and things? Have you ever done any?
Oh, I have.
Ads?
I have. Yes, I did one. I did one. And I haven't. I do a lot of voiceovers. Yes, so I do enjoy doing voiceovers, and they're great. And you just go in and you say what you say, and not judged on appearance or anything.
Yes.
Now,
The dream.
Working
from home.
Yeah, well, yes. You do have to go into the studio, which is good. Yeah, you have to drive there and stuff, but they're always nice when you get in. I did have a really scundering moment, though, back when I first started doing adverts.
Okay.
Now, to
Great,
be
tell
clear,
me.
I'm really good at them now. So
Yes,
don't
please
let
hire
this
her.
hold you back from hiring me. But I was hired to do an advert for Mini, the car, and it was at Bavarian Garage.
Right.
There are other car dealerships, but could I say the word Bavarian? No. No, I could not. And I was reading the script, so it was maybe like, Mini, it's, whatever price. Blah, 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 blah. It's just like,
Beaver.
go to blah, 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 blah. And they were like so trying to get me to say.
But once you get something in your head like that, it's like a block.
I could not do it. And then I got the giggles. And you're sitting there and there's clients all sitting there.
Oh,
and they're like
God.
on the clock because you've only an hour to do this. And I was just like, bah, bah, bah. Get your Mini. Blah, blah, blah. And so yeah, then they had to let me go. They still paid me for my time, but I didn't.
Because you couldn't say the word Bavarian?
Yeah, because I couldn't say the word Bavarian.
That's so weird.
Well, it was the name of the
you
company.
say the word Bavarian, Emma?
I don't know why I couldn't say it.
All those years at Lambda,
I know.
you're like, I missed the week we did Bavarian.
I know, I could not say it. And I couldn't see it. It was almost like on the page. I could not see what was written. I couldn't work out. I think if someone had said it to me a few days beforehand, like this is for a word I'd never
Bavarian.
heard of, I
Yes.
would have worked it out. But
Yes.
because I'd never heard this word or couldn't work it out in my head, I was just like,
You'll never look at a set of lederhosen the same again.
I know, but no, so yeah, they haven't hired me since. I can say it now.
Come on, Minnie, she's been
Bavarian.
practicing.
So yes, I do enjoy.
I guess, I'm being silly about Lambda. I don't think they don't do stuff about voiceovers, do they, in drama school? It's
No.
much more...
Well, you do voice technique.
Okay.
So you do like a lot of breathing in and outs on like F sounds, like
Right.
a lot of
What?
breathing in, a lot of like.
Is
a
this
lot
because
of
they
this.
know most people will be out of work and you'll be doing...
You need some
phone sex?
Yes, exactly. Shame
You're
that's
going to be on the
not
phone a lot
happening
longer.
now.
Right.
Yeah, so a lot of voice technique. We did like a lot of Tai Chi
Right.
and sword fighting. Yeah.
And does that come in handy?
It has not. It has not. Never been asked once. But yes, sword fighting and Shakespeare work. And
Right.
we did do a short film once, but I made a mistake because I like my food, and I was a student, and obviously, you know, we can't afford everything, and it was an eating scene. I think we were doing like a scene from Goodfellas or something, so like they felt filmed it, and I got overexcited because it was the food. Take one, I'm like, and then they were like, okay, and this is the lesson. Take two, you have to eat the exact same amount. So like by about take 6, I was like, I've learned my lesson.
I figure I could do that. Yeah,
which is why you see actors just pushing food about on a plate because they don't want to eat it. I
suppose because if they eat in one take, they have to eat every time.
Yeah. So I learnt my lesson that way.
Oh my God, that's not what I thought drama school would be like. I had thought it would be more like breaking you down, like as a person.
They do a bit of that too. They do a bit of that too. And we had to be animals in a park once.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah, we did.
Do you know? That. I don't know if you're watching The Last of Us.
I am,
right.
Yes.
Well,
and I'm 2 episodes behind.
Well, no spoilers here. I love it, but every time I see The Infected, I'm just like, drama school.
Yeah.
It just looks to me like drama students. They're all. And, I mean, it's very, very good, but that's what I imagine drama school to be like.
It is a lot of that, and I was a meerkat for a whole term.
What?
Yeah, and we had to do
I'd be like, can I have my money back? What the hell am I paying for?
It gets worse. We also work with a guy called Ken Campbell. He's no longer with us, but he was very eccentric, and he did our long project in the second year with us. And he was determined that he could teach the whole world like a universal language. So we had to learn Pidgin English, and that was a long term. And then we had to translate the Scottish play. I won't say it out loud just because, you know, it is a podcast and I'm such an actor.
Yes.
But we had to translate the Scottish play into Pidgin English. So it became Macbeth. I can say that.
Good God, why?
I know. And then we had to learn all the parts.
Yeah.
And then our name was drawn out of a hat on the day. Now, I wasn't that into this project. I was a bit over it.
You're like, can I be a mayor?
No, thank you.
Can I be a nurse?
Bothered. And so, like, one of the lines was, Satan, take a me handbag, fill up. Fill up body, belong me, wet and weary something. And handbag is... I know! I still remember it, guys.
Yes.
And handbag means vagina in Pidgin English. That's what that translates to.
What? I'm so lost. What is Pidgin English?
So apparently, like, it's what he wanted to teach us. He was
but what is it? What is it?
It's a version of English.
Who speaks pidgin? Pigeons?
No, it's like some...
No, it's like spoken like in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And like a lot of...
It's like somewhere off Australia, I think they might talk or something.
No, it's like mainly Jamaica.
Okay.
So, and then a lot of like Jamaican, like the Windrush generation.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, of like people that came from the Caribbean and Jamaica to the UK would speak Pidgin English.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like,
And
the sort of stereotypical Rastafarian voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Think of that.
And we were mainly white. I think we maybe had...
It doesn't
we were all
sound like
white.
it would age well, that exercise that you were doing.
No. And so we had to learn the whole script, both
my
parts.
God.
And then on the day, I got selected to be Macbeth, and my world imploded. Like, because they were going around picking, okay, such and such, you're going to be, you know, sword carrier too. And I was like, damn, I wanted that one. It says no lines.
Yeah.
And then the big part. And I was like, I still haven't got one yet. And then it was me. And
And did you have to perform the whole thing start to finish?
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
my God.
I was just stressing. Like, so it was awful. And I remember my friend coming and trying to get me dressed to get on stage. And then all the lovies, all the wannabes, all the social, I'll do it for you. Yes. Don't you do it? I'll do it. I'll take this for you. And I knew myself I had to do it.
Yeah.
And so I had to go out and perform this whole thing. And so Ken had done this bit beforehand where he taught the audience the language, and then we came out and did the play. No doubt, I have it on video somewhere.
I also feel for the audience. Like, imagine having to watch this. You'd just be like,
who be owning these blood clot hands?
I'd be like, how white is this?
I'd be like, Emma, I want to be supportive and all, but I am not coming to your end of term show.
No. Do you not want to watch the video? I can put it on.
Yes, I
do
want to see it. That's insane.
I feel like that lecture just wanted like blackmail material for all of you
Probably.
for later in your career.
I know.
Maybe why? Yeah, I know it was bonkers.
It's not okay.
And then I remember at the end because I'd sort of stumbled, but I can't actually remember doing it. I remember starting it. I have no memory, and then I remember the end where I came out.
That's
with
what happens to trauma.
Yeah,
that's what that is. You just disassociate.
No memory. But I came out at the end with my wee digital camera, and I worked out. Please, sir, me been play Macbeth one time. Me been one photograph of me, or so whatever I said, and the audience all said, "What a comedy genius!" And I was like, I literally just wanted a photo.
But you still did it in pidgin English.
I still did it.
Did you just talk like that for the rest of the year?
Got really pissed afterwards. I do remember going to the bar and getting really
surprised.
pissed, and then going in the next day back to class and couldn't move my neck. I was like, I can't move. And the girl was like, that's because when you got the part, this was our movement teacher, was like, your whole body just went like with the stress of it. And so yeah, I was just like walking around like this for the rest because my body had gone into shock.
So 3 years well spent.
Yes, thank you, Arts Council, for the grant.
Oh, very good. You got a grant.
I did.
That's mad. But that is more like what I thought drama school was like.
Yeah,
That's sort of like
meerkats and pidgin English.
Yes. This is a bit of a change now because I was thinking about ads there when you were talking about voiceover. No.
The BBC actually do like a pidgin English service, so where they
Emma,
I could get
job.
they like translate all their news stories
into
in the pidgin English.
Really?
Yeah, so
I did not know it was still going on.
I do feel so uneducated. Because I was like, why were you talking like pigeons? I don't understand.
Yeah, you went in the horse mode.
It's just me and animals. I'm so sorry.
So like they announced the Pope and like that there was a new Pope
in pidgin English.
Pidgin
Emma,
English.
would you like to have a crack at that? Announcing who the new Pope
Please,
is.
sir. My papa's gone.
Cancel Emma Little
Yeah,
Lawless.
this is how. I knew this
You'll
wasn't
never
a
get
good
hired
idea.
again. Never get hired again. That's mad.
I know,
I'll
so
have to go and have a wee look afterwards. He's found it.
So like the the headline was Cardinals done elect a new Pope, right? And then the tagline says white smoke done come at the chimney for the Vatican. What I mean they say the Cardinals done elect a new Pope.
I understood that.
Yeah.
Oh, she's fluent. She's fluent. So if Emma would like to translate that for us. Oh my God.
know.
That's mad.
Yeah, it is a bit mad.
But there's work for you out there.
I didn't think
You
it was
get
actually.
on to that.
Didn't realise it was a possibility.
Voiceovers to the cows come home.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm so overwhelmed by all of this. It's
Sorry, that was
killing me.
a lot of information.
It's also Sean reading it out to us as well. I'm just seeing us all being cancelled within like 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
It was a thing at Lambda 1999.
Oh, was that when it was
1998?
1998?
I think it was, yeah. Yeah.
It's you and I are the same age, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we
Roughly,
don't look at whatever the
roughly.
age is. We do not look
No,
at.
we're like, time is morphed into pidgin English time.
Pigeons and horses. No, I've been in one ad.
Oh,
and it was
right,
one
what
of the
was that?
DOE ads. You know the
Oh,
way,
I love those. My friends have done those.
And we don't really have them anymore. I haven't seen a good DOE ad,
Yeah.
where they kill a classroom of children.
Yeah, they're good. My friend Sarah was in the one, body to body.
Oh, yes.
And
the
they
best one.
smashed her head, but actually that was a real crash, and they actually her head proper hit. So they just crashed the car and then slowed it down. Now not full speed, but they did crash it. But she proper hit her head. Probably
What was the
revealing
effects
far too
guy off
many.
that week? What did
I think it
they
was
just crash
before
the car?
effects. Yeah, no, she proper that hit, and then her
wow.
whole face goes like.
Because I feel that every time I see it. That one still is. Actually, they do still play some of them, usually in the cinema.
Yeah,
You'd see it.
They're effective though.
Well, I haven't seen mine for a while because it was around the time of the Road to Zero when they started that campaign.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Road
yeah,
to Zero.
yeah.
And I was unemployed at the time, so I signed up to be an extra.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Got the call, got the big call. You and me are the same, Emma. I got the call to be an extra, and they said you have to dress like you're going to a funeral. So there was me and about 20 people. They had the ad was the one where there was a funeral at the end. There's hundreds of people
Yeah.
That's the
walking
one
behind
saying,
it.
I can't take my eyes. It's that one, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Well, I mean, that happens in post-production. I'm not
She wasn't
involved
in the Teresa.
in the music part.
Yeah.
It maybe is that one. I can't
It's
actually
like
remember.
the boyfriend and girlfriend, then he comes out in a wheelchair and stuff.
No.
No.
It's lots of different. There's lots of different parts to it. It's all these different people fighting out. But do slow down in the roads. We're not making fun of that. But anyway,
they are powerful campaigns.
The problem with me was I was desperate to get on camera.
Okay, Teresa.
And I was an extra. So they were like, could the extras just stand back, right? So they'd be like panning across the crowd mourning, and I'd be looking straight down the camera, just going, like giving a wee smile.
Like at the funeral, like.
And I could hear them just going like, who is that? Stop looking at the camera. So they put me right at the very back because I kept sort of following the camera like this sort of desperate wannabe.
Oh,
and because they were picking people out of the extras to have parts, because they were like, right, we need a grieving widow. And I was like, I can be a grieving widow. No, you're going to be smiling and looking at the camera the whole time.
Sounds like you're after you're after the widow with all these eye movements going on.
No, it's just me in the camera, just like notice me. So they put me way at the back, and then I never really saw myself in the ad. But they did have a bus poster. You know the posters they put in the back of the bus?
Yeah.
And I think it was either Fraser, my husband, or my sister. One of them nearly had a car accident because they realised it was me in the picture, and they went right up to the back of the bus to get a good look at it and nearly drove straight into it. I was like, I wish that not that I wish they crashed, but I would have loved them to be explaining it to the police, just like, see this DOE ad for road safety. Needed safe trees in it.
Needed to be closer.
I just I rammed the car off the road. That's all right.
No, the only advert, I haven't done many in years, but I did one for invest, when you get like grants to start out your own
invest
business,
NI,
like
that
invest NI
yes.
sort of thing. And I was hired to be the friend, the sidekick. And
of the
person
who has an
who was
idea.
coming up. So I was like the zany friend. And so we were like playing, things you do when you're friends, like basketball together.
As you and I would do it frequently.
Yeah. So, but I remember showing up, and they said to me, "What size are you?" And at the time, I was a size 12, and I said, "I'm a size 12." And they're like, yeah, but are you really? Like, now bear in mind, they hadn't seen me yet. And I was like, "Yes, no, 100%, I'm a size 12." They're like, great. And I showed up, and they had size 10, and I was like, "No, I said quite clearly I was a size 12." And like, "Yeah, but we want the clothes to look fat, like you to look fat in the clothes." So I was like the chubby friend, like playing basketball. Like supporting her through her dream. I know. So yeah, all the clothes were too small on purpose.
Oh my God, okay. It's like the pigeon. Do you just disassociate in these things and just be like, I'll not remember this. I'll just get through it and get the check.
Essentially.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to... Sorry, that sounded very abrupt there. I was like, right, I've had enough of this.
Enough of that. Your stories are traumatic.
Enough of your crack. I'm going to ask you I'm going to go... This is my quickfire round, Emma, about being embarrassed. So I'm going to give you some would you rathers.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want you to think about it too long. I'm going to give you like 5 seconds to think. And there is absolutely no stakes in this whatsoever.
Okay, there's no prize.
I don't know why we're making such a big deal out of it. Would you rather... And by the way, I think I've done every single one of these.
Okay.
Call your boss mum or hug your friend from behind and realise it's a stranger.
For pure crack, hug a person from behind who's think it's your friend and it's a stranger.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Have you ever done that?
No, I haven't.
I have actually.
Oh, have you?
I haven't hugged them. I was in a museum with my friend Ruth. Hello, Ruth. In Amsterdam. And she had like a bob, curly blonde hair. And we got split up in this museum of Van Gogh, which is all the Impressionists, And we were just trying to get some aircon before we went back to the bar. So I went up she was standing looking at a painting, and I went up behind her. I went, money, 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 into her ear. And then a gentleman turned around and looked at me and was just like, what are you doing? I was like,
gentleman?
You're not. Yeah. There was a guy with long blonde hair. So I had to go and find her and say, we need to leave immediately. Right now. There's a man over there pointing at security. Okay, here's the next one. Mm-hmm. Would you rather get caught practicing how to twerk or get caught talking to yourself in the mirror?
Well, probably talking to myself in the mirror because I do that all the time.
I suppose that is something. That's practically a self-tape.
It's just life. Do you not do that? Is that not what everyone does? Also, I'm an only child, so I do tend to talk to myself a lot. Yeah. I used to think it was called a lonely child.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, like, when we were learning French and stuff, and, I can't remember.
Je suis un lonely... Were you smoking in your French?
Yeah.
Je suis.
And they were like, no, it's only child. And I was like, no, it's lonely child.
Please come and see my one-woman show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd be the same. There's something about practicing how to twerk that makes me feel a wee bit
Scundered.
cringe.
No, that's
implies I cannot do it.
Are you sure?
I'm quite sure.
Would you like to practice?
No, I need to keep practicing. Okay, here's the last one. Would you rather have your search history published or your teenage diary?
Oh, my teenage diary.
Oh, you'd rather have that published? What the hell are you looking up on?
Wow. How to twerk. No, I just think it's comedy gold. So
Yes,
I just
so do
think
I.
I just think it would be enjoyable for people. And I wouldn't be embarrassed, but because it's so long ago, that's like Emma Little.
It's a different person.
Different person.
I agree, actually.
Yeah.
Not because I have anything dodgy in my search history, but I did find my teenage diary a while ago, and there were parts of it I started using on stage.
Yeah.
But I wasn't even being that nice to myself. I was like, I would not have been friends with this child.
No,
listen to what she was
100%.
saying.
What an idiot.
I think I wrote at one point, don't worry, Julia Roberts wasn't popular at school either.
Oh.
Tear stains. That's not true. I made that up.
Dear.
Right. But anyway, listen, thank
Yes.
you so much. You have been
you.
so brilliant. And thank you for doing this with me. And please go and follow Emma Little Lawless online. She's on Instagram. And please book her for your next Pigeon English job.
Available for all your pigeon
Or voiceover or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
And thank you. See ya.
Bye.